Some of us know it and choose to ignore it. Some of us don't know what to do. Many of us have never heard. But the fact still remains there's a fight raging around us. Around you, around me, around the world. In factories, in brothels, in mines, on street corners, in homes, hidden in the shadows. But yet, slavery still exists. 27 million lives stuck, frozen. Yet people should never be sold. There is no room for excuses or I didn't know. People are not things. People are not property. One human being should never be allowed to own another human being. There is no right or wrong here. Only wrong. Only injustice.
The Journey to Freedom exhibit came about. I had the chance this past fall to be up in Cedar Falls, and Prairie Lakes Church was the church that originally created the exhibit. They put hundreds of man-hours into making it happen. People were very impacted by this exhibit. It was something where I think people went through just to check it out, and when they exited, they wanted everyone that they knew to know about it. Like, there were mass emails going out to friends saying, you have to come see this, because it's just, there's nothing else like it that I've seen. You know, as Christians, we definitely believe that every person is created in the image of God and therefore has value. And the Bible is very clear, you know, that as believers we are supposed to take care of the oppressed and the vulnerable. And so I think there's definitely that aspect where, like, this is part of our purpose. At the same time, you know, the purpose of the exhibit really is to raise awareness of human trafficking, to start conversations in our community, and to help people see their role in addressing it. Honestly, I think people don't realize that it's not just about being rescued and being better, because that stays with you. That's one of the things with the exhibit that I really hope people take home is just that the best way to stop human trafficking is to prevent it. I've heard stories of, you know, when you're working with someone who's been rescued from trafficking, maybe they're 20, but emotionally they're still 13, you know, when that trauma first occurred. But streetwise, they're like 30, and they're trying to cope and reintegrate into society, and they haven't ever known, you know, what it's like to have a healthy family relationship, to have a healthy relationship with a man. Their whole view of love is skewed. It's hard to restore that, and I think that's why it's really important that Christ be a part of that restoration process, because when you've been told that you don't have value, that you're worthless, there's really only one source that could change that. Human trafficking is the second largest criminal industry in the world. The only thing that beats it is drug trafficking. The women who are trafficked are vulnerable for different reasons. You know, either they come from broken families, or they just end up in a situation from their decisions that they didn't anticipate putting themselves in. We see trafficking in Iowa specifically at places like truck stops, places like malls. Even a lot of people think of trafficking as something where someone has to be being moved, and that's not the case. Trafficking can occur out of homes. Family members can traffic other family members. I think to really understand the depth and the variety of trafficking, I mean, that's something the exhibit really touches on, that it's not just one particular stereotype, but it comes in a lot of forms. So the Journey to Freedom exhibit is coming to the Big White House, which is at 1246 12th Avenue in Coralville. It will be open from February 17th through March 1st. Everyone's welcome to come to the exhibit. It is rated PG-13 just because we want to make sure you know, that parents are aware that some of the content, you know, might not be suitable for real young children. The exhibit is an experiential walkthrough. It usually takes about 30 minutes and you go at your own pace. There are people periodically available throughout the exhibit to answer questions, to have a conversation, but it's really your journey. I think that this is an issue that every Christian should know about, and going through the exhibit can really give you the opportunity to engage with, you know, say a coworker or a neighbor about this topic. It can really be a next step for you as far as, you know, what can I do to address this? What can I do in my own community? Or how can I support the work of someone, you know, in another country? That it really gives the opportunity to take just really practical steps in addressing human trafficking. it's really up to us.